Hi, I'm Eric Bischoff, WWE Hall of Famer, co-host of 83 Weeks and a part of AdFreeShows.com. And I just want to say on behalf of all of us at AdFreeShows.com, we're very, very excited to partner up with Sportskeeda for one of the coolest award shows I've ever heard of. And you have a chance to be a part of it. So go vote, be a part of something special. And thank you very much.
So at the Sportskeeda Wrestling Awards, we are knee-deep in the wrestling wars of 2022. We have WWE, we have AEW, we have Impact Wrestling, all taking each other on. So we thought, why not partner with a man who knows more about wrestling wars than just about anyone else? So welcome, Mr. Eric Bischoff. How do you do?
Thank you very much. I'm doing well.
Amazing. So remember, much like Eric Bischoff, Arn Anderson, Conrad Thompson, and all our partners from AdFreeShows, we have assembled a team of judges that also includes Rob Van Dam, Bill Apter, Diamond Dallas Page, Booker T, and Vince Russo. You get to hear their picks, and most importantly, you get to choose your own winners from the year gone by. And there are exciting prizes to be won, including a meet and greet with Rob Van Dam. So, sir, let's start with the interview. We want your thoughts on a few topics. Before we begin, I just thought I'll bounce a few topical stories from the wrestling world by you. We just learned a few hours ago that The Undertaker is going into the WWE Hall of Fame. What's your immediate reaction?
Well, I think anybody that says they're surprised is kidding themselves. I think we all knew it was going to happen. It was just a question of when. I don't think anybody in this industry outside of, perhaps Hulk Hogan and Steve Austin have had the career that Undertaker has had. And I would throw Ric Flair in that group as well. So it was just a matter of time. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I think if, anybody deserves, if that's a fair word to use, to be in the Hall of Fame, certainly Undertaker would be at the top of that list. He's been a mainstay in WWE for so long, and really been at the top of the wrestling industry for so long. I'm very happy for him and very happy for his fans as well.
We saw your emotional reaction when you were when you got to know about your induction as well. So how much does that mean to you?
Well, I think it's individual. I think each of us have our own ways of reacting to certain things. I have to be honest with you. I wasn't surprised necessarily. I kind of had a sense that phone call was coming, but there's a difference between having a sense that something is going to happen and then it actually happening. And I got very emotional in large part because to be included in the Hall of Fame with some of the biggest names in the history of the industry, and many of whom that I looked up to as a fan and got to work with as a young person in the wrestling industry, to be even included in a group like that was emotional for me. But it meant a lot to me, but I think each of us have our own ways of reacting to things like that.
The hottest topic right now is that Stone Cold Steve Austin might return to wrestling to wrestle a match against Kevin Owens in Texas. What is your reaction to that?
I would love to see it. I think the world of Steve Austin as a professional, as a friend. I texted Steve a couple days ago and said, hey, I don't know if the rumor's true, but if it is, I'll be sitting at ringside and I'll sneak a beer in. So I hope it's true. It would be wonderful to see it.
Amazing. And my last question before we begin with the awards is, your old friend Bill Goldberg is in the world title picture in 2022. Did you think that this would be the case 25 years ago?
Oh, no, I would have never anticipated anything that's going on today 25 years ago, to be honest with you. But, I'm happy for Bill. Bill he's just as intense of a personality today as he was when I first met him. 25 some odd years ago. He demands a lot of himself. He's a bit of a perfectionist. And I think the coolest part for me, kind of watching Bill, is knowing how much satisfaction he's getting, knowing that his son is able to watch Bill in that platform or on that platform. I just know how good that makes Bill feel, and I'm happy for him as a result.
Bill Apter wanted me to. He just told me that you're a big fan of stand-up comedy. So, who are some of your favorite comedians?
Well, I'm not I don't have a list of comedians that I enjoy. I love watching young stand-up comedians, people that really haven't made it to the big time yet. I love going to small comedy shows, but I can't say I'm a fan of, Bill Burr. If I had to pick one comedian that I think is, at the top of his game as far as I'm concerned, it would be Bill Burr. But I also enjoy, kind of discovering new comics.
Amazing.
Hi, my name is Eric Bischoff. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestling.
Let's go directly into the first category, which is who was, in your opinion, the babyface of the year 2021. The options are, we have Big E from WWE, we have Liv Morgan from WWE, we have Xavier Woods from WWE, we have Darby Allin from AEW, and we have Hangman Adam Page from AEW.
I'm going to have to go with Darby Allin, only because 2 years ago, nobody knew who he was. And now he's got a major following and a strong fan base. And I think he's done very, very well for himself. The rest of the people you mentioned have all, been at the top or near the top, or have had a lot of exposure and had years to build their fan base. Darby kind of came from out of the woodwork and surprised everybody and escalated very, very quickly. So I would have to go with Darby Allin.
Would you say that the style he wrestles, the cruiserweight style, was something you pioneered?
Well, I don't know that I pioneered it. That wouldn't be fair to say. I think I was the first one to consistently showcase such a broad variety of cruiserweights, luchadors, whatever you want to call them. Because the luchadors were such a big part of the cruiserweight division. I have sometimes a hard time separating the two. But I was the first one to give them a national platform on a consistent basis and make them an integral part of the show, as opposed to just having kind of one-off occasional matches with, cruiserweight type Japanese style wrestlers. So look, the people that participate in the cruiserweight division, the Chris Jerichos, the Eddie Guerreros, the Dean Malenkos, the Chris Benoits, every one of the luchadors, with Rey Mysterio, right at the very top of that, and so many more, Super Calo, Juventud Guerrera, so many of them. They're the ones that pioneered it. I just took advantage of it.
Amazing. And we spoke about Bill Goldberg, and you brought up Rey Mysterio. Goldberg, in all fairness, has always had somewhat of a limited moveset, but Mysterio wrestles. I saw him on Nitro in 97, and I see him on Raw in 2022. He wrestles pretty much the same style, and you can't tell that he's aged at all. What do you have to say about that?
I think Rey Mysterio is a freak of nature. I think he's a 1 in a million performer that comes along every other generation. He's an amazing, amazing performer. He started wrestling at such a very young age. What he does instinctively takes years and years of experience and trial and error. Rey Mysterio is just so good. I don't think there'll be anybody like Rey Mysterio for a long, long time.
Fantastic. So you heard about the babyface of the year. Let's talk about the heel of the year. Would you say the heel of the year was Roman Reigns from WWE? Was it Dr. Britt Baker from AEW? Was it MJF from AEW?
You can stop
Was
right
it-
there. You can stop right there. There's no reason to go any further. MJF, hands down, no one else is even close.
Do you think he would have been a good fit during Nitro?
Oh, yes. Anybody with the gift that MJF has, and yes, he would have been. MJF he's the Rey Mysterio of promos.
Wow.
There you go.
Perfect. So AEW is leading the pack. Would you say, Eric Bischoff, that you're enjoying the AEW product a little more than the WWE product these days?
No, I mean, I watch them both occasionally. I don't watch them both every week. For instance, I dropped in on AEW this week because my wife was out of town and I had control of the television. So, and I've also watched Monday Night, Raw and SmackDown occasionally. I don't like one over the other. They're two different shows. And to be honest, when I watch wrestling, I don't watch it the same way most people watch it. I'm watching, or I'm analyzing what I'm seeing from a strategic perspective or a tactical perspective. I'm looking for something new, something that somebody's trying that's different in terms of the way wrestling is being presented. So I watch them, but not the same way most people do. I don't watch them for entertainment. I watch them for research, if that makes sense.
It does. It totally does. Let's move on straight to the promo of the year. And once again, we have MJF, we have CM Punk, we have Paul Heyman, we have Britt Baker, and we have Edge.
Paul Heyman is in a class all by himself. Again, no one else is even close. There is nobody, in my opinion, including MJF, that can cut a promo like Paul Heyman. He will at some point. Keep in mind, MJF is still, I have shoes that are older than MJF, right? I still wear jeans that are older than MJF. He's very early in what is, I'm sure, going to be an amazing career. Paul Heyman can paint a picture with words in a way that nobody else can. So I definitely hands down Paul Heyman.
Amazing. I'm sure, by now you must have watched, we are so used to watching Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman together, but Brock Lesnar has branched off and he's doing his own thing and cutting his own promos. What do you think of that?
I think it's fantastic. When Brock came back to WWE recently, somebody asked me what I thought, and I was honest, as I always am, which usually comes back to bite me in the ass. But my comment was to the effect of, if Brock Lesnar is coming back to WWE and we see the same Brock Lesnar that we've been watching for years and years and enjoying for years and years and doing phenomenal things for years and years, but unless Brock comes back with a little bit of a new twist on his personality or his character, to me it was going to be, been there, done that. It wouldn't have been very interesting to me. Now, other people may have obviously felt differently, but to me. And when Brock came back, he's, cutting his own promos, having more fun. When I watch Brock now, it looks to me like he's actually having a blast doing what he's doing. He's enjoying it. He's having fun revealing, a part of his personality that we haven't seen before. So I think it's been a fantastic return, probably better than almost any that I've seen in that type of category of people who've been around for a long time, been away for a while and come back, because Brock has come back fresh. He's like a brand new character. He has all of the assets of his previous character, but he's got the added dimension of a sense of humor in a guy that's just out there having a blast. And I think it's fantastic.
Fantastic. Let's move on to the final category that we'll be running by you. And Brock Lesnar is a big part of that, which is comeback of the year. Was it Brock Lesnar? Was it Becky Lynch, who returned at the same event after giving birth? Was it Christian Cage, who was told he will never wrestle again? Was it W. Morrissey or Big Cass, who went to Impact after facing his demons and fighting his demons? Or was it CM Punk?
I'm going to go with Becky Lynch. I'm going to go with Becky Lynch. I'm a huge fan of Becky Lynch's. She does everything right. She's one of the more authentic wrestling personalities that I see on screen and even in social media. If you follow Becky Lynch in social media, everybody uses social media, including me, right? If we're promoting something, we're using social media to do it. I think Becky Lynch does a better job of using social media to advance her character and her story than anybody else in the industry right now. And I just like her. I like her as a character. I don't know her really well as a person. I mean, we're friendly, but we've never gone out to dinner and socialized outside of the wrestling arena. But the little bit that I've been in contact with her and gotten to know her professionally, I really, really like her. And the fact that she's so authentic sets her above just about anybody else. And, having a baby's kind of a big deal, right? I mean, I can't imagine it, neither can you, but we all know people who have. And to go through that physical experience and then get yourself back in shape, which is in and of itself kind of amazing to watch a woman do, especially as quickly as Becky did it. And then to come back as strong as she has, I definitely give it to Becky.
Absolutely. So the wars of 2022, as per Eric Bischoff, they're tied because we have 2 votes for AEW and 2 votes for WWE. So thank you so much for your time. Now it's up to the fans to decide who won. Please tell us about 83 weeks and AdFreeShows.
Well, 83 weeks now. It's 3 or 4 years old? 4 years we've been doing it now, which is really funny because I thought, well, we're naming the show 83 weeks. What's going to happen on week 84? We're going to run out of stuff to talk about. But we've been having a blast doing it. It's a lot of fun. It's a very cathartic experience for me. I love going back and watching, and we go back and we do watch-alongs on 83 weeks. And I see, we go back and watch pay-per-views or nitros that I've never seen before. While I was producing them, I was busy producing them. And I never got to sit back and just watch them. So it's really an interesting journey for me each week to kind of go back and talk about, and in some cases, watch along some of the, important periods in Nitro and WCW. And it's fun. It drops every Monday morning, 6 a.m. here in the US. Not sure what time that is in India, but you can figure it out. But I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy working with Conrad and everybody else on Conrad's team.
Perfect. And so before we let you go, this has become a tradition with everyone who was a part of WCW at some point. We spoke about comedians we spoke about comedians. To me, the funniest person in the history of wrestling is Scott Steiner. Do you have a Scott Steiner story that nobody knows?
I really don't, I never spent any personal time with Scott. We didn't hang out. We didn't travel together. Everything I did with Scott was all business oriented. And I was the boss. So we didn't have that same type of relationship that a lot of guys had with Scott. I'm sure there's plenty of funny stories out there, but I enjoyed working with Scott. He was challenging from time to time. That's putting it mildly, but it didn't matter because I enjoyed his work and I valued what he brought to the table.
Amazing. So you have heard what Eric Bischoff had to say. Now it's your time to vote. So thank you so much for your time and we hope to catch you soon. Best of luck with everything you have going on.
Thank you very much. It's been great to be with you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.